All right, let's talk about casting data types like a wizard. You're a wizard, Harry. Hama Juan. Okay, now that I'm done with the silly sound effects, let's talk about casting data types like a wizard. So casting is the ability to actually turn one variable type into another variable type. And so for example, we could say age is equal to 31 as a string. And that's already assigned. We got to refresh. Age is equal to 31 as a string. Nailed it. And so we can say type of age, and that's going to give us a string. Now, what if we wanted to times that age by 7? We could do age times 7, and that works perfectly fine because JavaScript is loosely written, so it understands that this is, in fact, it's supposed to be a number. It's in a string, but it can be a number. What if we went with age is equal to, my age is 31, and then did age times 7. Returns NaN. That stands for not a number. Now we're getting to some sort of problem. Now we have age. Nope, age is supposed to be 31. Let's say we want to cast this as a number. All we have to do is type number with a capital N, throw in that variable, and it's now that. Well, it would have been, actually, because age is still going to be a string. We can see that it's a string. If we did age is equal to number, and then threw the age in there as well. So we're overwriting it. And now we can say type of age, and we get number. What happens if we want to cast a string or an object or an array? We can do all of these things as well. So we can do age is equal to 31, and then we can cast that. So we can say age is equal to number, age. We know that that's now a number. We could also do object. So we could say age is equal to object age. This is going to give us something weird. This just says it's a number, and it's got a primitive value of 31. So it is an object, technically. It's a weird one. We probably wouldn't want that. We would probably actually want to do something like person age is equal to whatever that age is going to be. But that is one way to do it. Let's go ahead and, what do we have here? Age. Let's do age is back to 31. So this is now a number. This is going really fast. We can do age is equal to array age. And we have a length of 31. Interesting. But there's nothing in it. But we are casting things in here. So this is getting a little bit weird. And honestly, you're not actually going to but you're not going to cast things to an array or to an object too often. Once something stays as an array, or once it's created as an array, it stays as an array. Once it's created as an object, it stays as an object. Strings and numbers are a little more interchangeable because they're similar data types, but arrays and objects are pretty different from just a simple number. So it's going to be a little bit different. One that you might want to use a lot though, let's see what age is. Age is equal to 31. Type of age gives us a number. We could try a Boolean, and this is going to be very helpful to understand conditionals at some point because everything boils down to either true or false in programming. And so what if we did age is equal to 0? And then we cast that as a Boolean. We get false. And that's because 0 is false, 1 is positive. What is Boolean if we say -1? That's true. What about -10? That's true as well, but just 0 is false. 1 is true. 10 is true. Everything boils down to true or false, and in JavaScript, all Booleans that are zeros are false, everything else is true. Now, why is this lesson even important? Why am I teaching you any of this at all? Because occasionally you're going to want to change something, one data type to another data type. You're going to want to change 31 as a number to a string to do something with it. Because, and here's a good example, age is equal to 31. Let's do age is equal to 31 as a number. Age dot, well, this doesn't have things like replace. What if we wanted to replace all the ones with 3s? So we make 33. Well, this is going to give us an error. It's not a function. We now have to cast this. We can say age is equal to string age. We know that that's now a string. We can see it in here. It has quotation marks around it. And we can do age dot replace 1 with 3, and that gives us 33. Now that sounds like honestly like a really bad example, but it's not. These are things that you're going to have to do. And the reason we want to do this, another reason we want to do this, is because whenever you're working with user input, it always comes back as a string. So if you ask a user, how old are they? They could say, my age, 31, but it's going to come back as a string. It's not going to come back as a number, it's going to come back as a string. Now, what if you need to do something with that particular number? You could say age is equal to prompt, what is your age? And watch this. This is going to prompt me. I'm going to put in 31. I'm going to put in a different number here. I'm going to put in 50, 59. And it comes back as 59. And what if I do type of? Nope. Type of age. Comes back as a string. Now, that's cool. I can do things with strings, but what if I needed to do something else? As in, I needed to add something together. So we could say my age is equal to 31. And then we could say console.log, our ages together are, and we're going to concatenate these using the old school way. And this is just how we merge things together. We merge sentences together using concatenation, using the plus sign. So we have a string here, and then in here we just concatenate our variable age plus my age. Our ages together are, and actually let's just leave it at that, and let's close that console log. And we see a problem here. Our ages together are 5,931. Well, that's not right. What if I did my age plus age? I get 3159, or my age, or the other way around, age plus my age is equal to, it's adding a string and a number together. And so it's coming back as a string. We don't want that. We need to cast this. And so if we cast these both as numbers, we can add these together. So let's do this. Age, currently a string. Let's do age is equal to number age. And let's do my age, 31. And now let's add these together. Age plus my age. There we go, we got 90. Now it's actually doing proper math. This is really, really helpful in the simplest form of JavaScript, is we need to be able to cast these things from one data type to another. It's really, really important that we do that. Now, you might not use this right away, but you will use this down the road. It is very, very vital to know how to do this. Now, you probably shouldn't have to do anything at this point. I would say if you want to get some hands-on experience, try casting from a string to a number and then back to a string. And kind of doing what I did. Feel free to watch this video a couple of times because I went a little bit fast and it's a little bit tricky to understand at first. I get it. But also know that you don't need to know all of this right away. You can pretty much tuck this in your back pocket for now, and tomorrow or the next day when you come back and you want to dig into JavaScript some more, that's cool. You have this in your back pocket. You can now work with casting a little bit and experiment with it at your own pace, of course.